a guy that knows Serie A inside out, who has followed Mario Balotelli in his journey, in his roller coaster ride, Rocco Fasano. Rocco, welcome again.
Thank you very much, Anthony.
Rocco, pleasure to have you on. Let's talk about Mario Balotelli returning to Milan. I find this a little bit of a surprise. Didn't hear anything about it until the last couple weeks. Now it's signed, sealed, and delivered. And I think, to me, this is, as we've all heard, the last shot, the last opportunity. Your thoughts?
I completely agree. I think that most people would have bet against Balotelli not making any sort of return, especially so quickly. About exactly a year ago, he made his move to Liverpool from AC Milan for something like 16 million pounds sterling, I believe that was the amount. And now, lo and behold, he goes back exactly where he came from in order to once more try to revitalize his career and make a comeback like he was when he played at Inter and before. So it's something that surprises us all. However, it's a move that could prove probably a good fit for all sides involved. Balotelli would get extra playing time, and Liverpool might get the player that they paid big money for, and as well, Italian football might be able to benefit from this along with the Azzurri.
And I agree on all accounts. To me, this is not a major risk by Milan at all. I think this is a smart, calculated risk by Milan. And what I love were the first words out of Mario's mouth. I think it was yesterday, we heard it today as well, is, "I'm here to work. I'm here to work, and I'm here to keep my mouth shut. I'm here to work." That already tells me he's starting to change. And that already tells me at the age of 25, I think it's starting to click in that this is his last chance. I think he understands Euros are coming up. And you've got Spain in the World Cup qualifying for Russia coming up. I think he understands it, Rocco.
I think he also understands that this is his very last chance at Milan, which is the team the team that he really cared about since he moved to the Brescia area. So, and for Italian football in general, he's not going to get any more chances, and he understands that the way and the path is one of labor, one of trying in practice, one of giving it 100%, being 100% focused on football and not all the antics that surround it. And the fact that he's now married and settled down, one would like to think, as far as a personal life, would then also follow as far as his footballing life.
Let me ask you this, Rocco. In the last World Cup in Brazil, I really still think to this day that Balotelli and Fasano got a raw deal, the raw end of the stick, where a lot of people were pointing the fingers at them too. And I kind of disagree. At that point, I still have a sour taste in my mouth because, yeah, Fasano didn't have, the greatest of moments in the time that he was put in there. Mario, let's not forget, scored a big goal. If I'm not mistaken, it was against England. And I think they did their part. I think these guys get a bad rap sometimes, both of them. And it's uncalled for. This is why I believe this time around, I think the media might go a little bit less on him, understanding that he's becoming a little bit more softer in his answers, a little bit more understanding that, hey, no one else wants me. Only Milan wanted me. I've got to make it work here.
Balotelli is a media darling in both the good and the bad. He doesn't help himself with some of his off-field antics, but at the same time, the media is quick, and I think the Italian public, by and large, is quick to return and welcome back Balotelli as a prodigal son. And the same goes for Fasano. I believe, as far as what happened in Brazil, in particular with in the fallout of the post-Italy-Uruguay game, had a little bit to do as well with the Azzurri Senators, particularly, and it pains me to say, with the Juventus players.
The block, that's right.
Yeah, that's right. So there were some, and if I recall correctly, but Prandelli was basically giving his adieu speech, and Balotelli got up and left and went to hang out in the in the Azzurri bus. So I think what happened there was perhaps the player, perhaps the man was sulking something, the loss of a big opportunity, and was looking to, have a huge impact in a World Cup that just ended.
No, and we all understand that, Rocco. Sorry to interrupt, but I think we forget to judge the heart of this man wanting to win, the heart of this man wanting to succeed. I said this back when Italy beat Germany in that last Euro, and he was on the verge of getting 3. Both of my sons at that time, teenagers, were practically saying, "Dad, get the visa out. You're going to buy his Balotelli jerseys." And I agreed, because I loved the guy. I thought the guy was outstanding when he took all sorts of racist comments thrown his side. Still today, I think it's uncalled for.
Yeah, it's very hard. It's not easy to be Mario Balotelli. In my view, technically and skill-wise, physically, he has the potential to be not only the Italian national team's foremost striker, without a doubt, but I would say among the top 10 in the world. Unfortunately, that his performances haven't been to par. But again, with that kind of attitude, if his words will match his actions, I think he's got nowhere to go but up. There is, however, an overall context that has to be considered, and that is AC Milan has a plethora of forwards that they have to place in the next 10 days, remaining days of the transfer market, which may or may not have an impact on how much playing time he gets, on the overall environment, on the competition or lack thereof, and the opportunities that the Balotelli will have in order to play. So that's something to follow very closely.
Let me ask you this, Rocco, as time is our worst enemy, but I don't understand why still today people feel that this young man, I call him young because he's 25, is a problem in the dressing room. I don't see that. I haven't heard of dust-ups in the dressing rooms amongst teammates. Yes, he sulked like you mentioned there in the World Cup, but he left the room. I haven't heard about this young man, wanting to do, he just wants to win and he wants to start, and that's always been his expressions and his desires. And I think too many people, don't judge the guy for that.
Yeah, I think that I agree. I mean, I've seen time and again players like Fasano, like Balotelli, welcomed back with open arms whenever they're called back into the camp by everybody, including those that outed them in the past. I've seen Buffon type players say, oh yeah, Fasano's a great guy. We always have fun at practice, and he really brings the happiness and mood and it kind of makes people gel together in the change room type thing. So these guys have been around the block. I think what the episode in Brazil was about was more like a little slap in across the face, to say, hey, wake up, be a man, be a professional. It's bigger than this. It's about the group.
Let me ask you this. Should all Juve fans get off the ledges and say, okay, only one game only, let's relax after the opening season took off?
Yeah, I think it was very disappointing to see Juventus lose their first game, and to boot against a team that should be rather beatable by most sides, like Roma, like Napoli, like all the other competition. When they will have Udinese play in their home stadiums, we all expect them to win. So, and also from a comparative point of view, it's disheartening. The gameplay needs to get up there. Juventus needs to get our midfielders back and the fulcrum of play. Juventus has changed a lot of players, and is still very much in a forming stage.
In 30.
Go ahead. If Allegri is able to do it, he should be able to sculpt a superb team, because he's been given the keys to a Ferrari.
In 30 seconds or less, the team that I'm looking forward to watching this year is Frosinone. Had a chance to spend a lot of time with some of their management people. Owner that was in our great city of Toronto back in the winter. My son had an opportunity to display some of his talents, so I'm really looking forward to Frosinone. Who are you looking forward to watch this year?
I'm really looking forward to watching both Frosinone and Carpi. I'm curious to see how they will be able to handle the impact in Serie A. We have seen teams that are like Empoli last year, that imported an entire block and and played with a certain idea, a certain gameplay that they were able to import very well into Serie A and to surprise many people and to bring up some very interesting talents. So I'm looking forward to seeing both of those sides this year.
Rocco, it's been too long. Let's get you on again as the season progresses. Really appreciate you joining us. Keep up the great work in analyzing each and every weekend in Serie A, and it should be exciting with a couple Euro games coming up as well. I believe I'm hearing strong indication that Giovinco will be possibly called up for one of those two, and that would be outstanding. Rocco, thanks again, and enjoy the rest of your night.
Thank you very much. I confirm that what you say about Giovinco, and it's always a pleasure to be on your show.